Imagine that there is a hidden world just beyond the horizon, where glowing beings of fire and light weave the threads of fate, protect you from harm, and fight in dimensions that humans can't see. These are angels, who are divine beings that decorate our world. They are not made-up stories or things from our imaginations. The connection between these angels and life itself goes back to the beginning of time. They are real and powerful. Did you hear the angels screaming with joy as God made the world? Or that some people chose to rebel, which had effects on the universe that are still being felt today? Their jobs are very different and more personal than you might think. For example, they are supposed to spread sacred truths and protect people's souls. They have been with us on our journeys, led kings, and shown their presence through both gentle prodding and awe-inspiring acts. But the question is whether they are passing through our area right now. Do you think there is someone watching over you, guiding you, and helping you reach a goal that only God knows? Their presence has been a part of our history for a very long time. They have shaped our present and could shape our future. We're here today to find out more about these strange creatures. Gather your thoughts, because what you're about to learn could completely change the way you see life. Before the universe was made, there was a divine creation that was better than people. Imagine the universe as an empty space with endless possibilities, waiting for the Creator to shape it. Angels were called at this holy moment, just before the first light broke through the darkness and the stars started their waltz. These spirits, which were made of fire and light, are not limited to the world we live in. They have been around forever and are made of pure spirit. Their purpose is so deep that it has been felt throughout time. The holy books of the Bible, especially the book of Job, have deep insights into how amazing life really is. In Job 38:4-7, the Almighty talks to Job from inside a storm and tells him about the beauty of the world. That's what the Lord asks. Where were you when I built the earth? When did all of God's sons shout with joy and the morning stars sing together? These verses reveal a deep and lasting truth that goes beyond simple poetic images. Since they were angels, the morning stars, and the sons of God saw the dawn of creation and were delighted to see God's beautiful work. Can you picture the universe coming to life as their voices mix to make a chorus of stars? The invites are filled with awe at the sight. Angels are a part of the story of the universe and work hard to carry out their Creator's plans. Since the beginning of time, they have spoken about how great God is, how wise He is, and how loving He is forever. Their presence is not a metaphor. It is very real. It's important to think about what their presence means. These celestial beings were there before humans were made from the dust of the earth. They saw the Creator speak the universe into existence, dividing the waters, shaping the land, and filling the skies with stars. They were amazed as He gave Adam life and told him He wanted to make a partner for him. And when disobedience came into the world through Adam and Eve, these messengers served as a bridge between the visible and the invisible, leading us to the One who created them and controls everything with His mighty power. What does this have to do with us now, though? We don't see them, so why should we care about them? The answer is that these celestial beings are important to the story. If these strong, powerful beings are willing to serve the Lord with unwavering loyalty, then how much more should we, who are made in His image, try to live lives that bring Him glory? Angels are more than messengers. They worship the Almighty and proclaim His greatness. We are called to see the deep wisdom of the Creator when we think about how everything began. Uncreated was not made by him. Angel stories have been told since the beginning of time, and they are still being told today. The essence of them goes beyond the old scrolls and the beginning of time. They are still a part of our lives today, and every step we take helps them do their sacred job of protecting, guiding, and getting us through challenging times. When life gets hard, let's take comfort in the fact that we are surrounded by that. To fully understand it, we must first look into what it means to be spiritual. Angels are beings of fire and light, pure energy that doesn't have to follow the rules of our physical lives. They don't eat, sleep, or breathe like humans, and time doesn't affect them. Their nature tells us that they never age or change. The old book of Job 38:4-7 tells us that there were beings of light and wonder in the beginning, before people lived on earth, and that angels sang happily as the world's foundations were being laid. But what does it mean to be a spirit being? As humans, our essence is deeply woven into our bodies. We experience the world through our senses, what we see, hear, touch, taste, and smell, as well as our thoughts, feelings, and life experiences. In the Bible, angels are sent to help and guide people who are meant to be saved. But what does it mean to be a spirit? A spirit has the ability to manifest at any time, engaging with our world while maintaining its separation from it. This is similar to how the wind can be felt in the rustling of leaves, the bending of trees, and even the breaking of glass. Angels were created in a state of holiness, meant to reflect the divine glory of their Creator. They exist to serve Him without wavering or rebelling. But the story of Lucifer shows us that holiness is not a state that happens automatically. They have free will, which means they can choose between righteousness and evil. This is a big difference between them and humans. Angels don't know about the gift of redemption because they were kicked out of heaven when they sinned and can't return to God's presence. They don't have a second chance or a way to be forgiven. This fact serves as a sobering reminder of how unique human salvation is. Jesus Christ came to save us, not the angels. His sacrifice was only for humanity, albeit weak and flawed. Even though they are not human, these celestial beings play an important part in the Almighty's grand plan. They are witnesses to His glory, take part in His holy activities, and serve as instruments of His will. Their loyalty reflects His rule, and they encourage us to see how vast God's creation is, a world that is beyond our understanding or sight. Through their selfless service, they show us what it means to fully submit to divine authority. Do they inspire awe or fear, or perhaps a combination of both? They would surround you not because they are mean or scary, but because of their sheer power and majesty. They are reminders of the divine and give us glimpses of eternity in a world full of short-lived things. Their very nature makes us want to look beyond our earthly worries and dig deeper into the end. The deep wisdom and creativity of God are shown through angels. They are more than just angels. They are beautiful works of divine craftsmanship that were made with purpose. Their presence reminds us of the endless ways that God could have designed things, and it makes us appreciate the beauty and complexity of everything that God has made. They remind us of our place in the beautiful web of existence. They weren't made to be mindless machines or creatures without free will. Instead, they were given the amazing gift of free will, which is both deep and unsettling. They could serve God with true love and devotion because of this gift. But as time has shown, freedom can also lead to loyalty and disobedience. The story of Lucifer's fall shows this truth in a powerful way. How have you fallen from heaven, morning star, son of the dawn? You have been cast down to the earth, you who once laid low the nations. Tells the story of Lucifer's fall from grace. These powerful words describe a being who was once great, but turned his back on God. Because he was proud, Lucifer tried to take a throne that was never his. But history shows that pride leads to a great fall, and Lucifer's rebellion was not ignored. He was a cosmic upheaval, but also a deep lesson for all of creation. Giving people free will carries both positive and negative implications. It can foster love and loyalty, but it can also lead to rule breaking and chaos. The angels who stayed true to God showed us what freedom really means, being able to choose righteous things, even when those things are tempting. Strangely, the Watchers, tasked with monitoring humanity and guiding it towards righteousness, fell in love with the beauty of human women. They descended from heaven to marry them and bear children, thereby creating the Nephilim race of giants. These strong creatures were more than just amazing to look at. They were a major threat to God's order. As the Watchers' punishment, God showed mercy by giving people a chance to rebuild after the flood. The Watchers were forced to work as slaves and were locked up until the day of judgment. This was a sobering reminder of how important free will is. The story of Lucifer and the Watchers, which is part of the grand tapestry of creation, raises a deep question. Why would God make beings that can cause so much trouble? I think the answer lies in what love is, since real love can't grow without the threat of being turned down. What good would it have been for them to worship if the Lord had turned angels into robots? He let them choose Him, not because He forced them to, but because they wanted to. The Creator's plan for the universe has not been changed by genuine Lucifer's fall or the chaos caused by the Watchers. In fact, the angels' rebellion sets the stage for the epic story of salvation. Even though humanity is weaker and less durable than the angels, it was chosen by God to be the focus of His love. The divinity of Lucifer and the Watchers warns and invites us to value our freedom, use it wisely, choose love over pride, and align our hearts with God's will. We realize how important our decisions are when we think about the angry angels. We have free will, just like the angels, and can pick the right path or stray from it. What happened after the angels rebelled shows how complicated God's plan is, how giving someone free will is a big responsibility, and how chaos and rebellion can't change God's unwavering control. This story leads us to the promise that everyone can be saved if they choose to walk in His light. The moonlight. Angels are a heavenly hierarchy that helps keep things peaceful in both the spiritual and physical worlds. This hierarchy has fascinated theologians, scholars, and religious people for a very long time. At its core, this hierarchy shows the wide range of angelic beings, each with their own duties and roles. Exploring this structure gives you a look at the amazing design that is built into the universe itself. The universe is the highest being in heaven. They are bright creatures that are often pictured as flames of fire. Their brilliance shows how close they are to God, and it is their holy duty to worship Him all the time by surrounding His throne and proclaiming His holiness. In the prophecy found in Isaiah, these beautiful creatures are seen. Each one has 6 wings, 2 that cover its feet to show humility, and 2 that protect it. The cherubim, who are beloved guardians of holy places and divine secrets, stand below the seraphim in the sky. Unlike most pictures of babies with wings and a round body, these creatures are strong and majestic. The book of Genesis describes how they stood at the entrance to Eden with flaming swords, protecting it, and making sure that people would return after the fall. Their presence creates a holy line between what is holy and what is normal. The thrones are heavenly beings that represent justice and authority. They are also called the divine wheels, or chariots of the Almighty. They steadfastly guard the very foundations of existence. In Ezekiel's vivid vision, the prophet shows them in their amazing shape. Wheels inside wheels, with many eyes that reflect them all. The Dominion's wise guardians are in charge of the lesser angels and make sure that God's will is carried out in both the spiritual and physical worlds. They are the most important link between the spiritual and physical worlds, and the virtues, those amazing miracle workers, are what make amazing things happen, like the Red Sea parting. The principalities and archangels are part of the grand tapestry of the heavenly realm. Each is crucial to the divine story. The principalities, those benevolent protectors, vigilantly oversee nations, cities, and vast congregations of souls. They gently guide leaders and change the course of history. They work non-stop to make sure that God's will is carried out, even as people use their free will. Among the angelic hosts, the archangels are the most famous. Their names have been heard throughout time. Michael, the brave soldier, leads the armies of heaven in the eternal battle against evil. Gabriel, the trustworthy messenger, brings important news. John the Baptist and Jesus Christ were born miraculously. Then there is Raphael, the kind healer who goes on the journey with Tobias and gives him advice and comfort in the book of Tobit. Instead of mythical archangels, these real people represent God's care and presence over us. Lastly, we call them angels. They are lowly but necessary members of the divine order who interact with us every day as messengers, guardians, and guides. They walk with us in ways we can see and ways we can't. From the guardians who watch over each person to the celestial hosts who fight in holy battles and reassure us that we are never really alone on our journey. The spiritual realm of our journey transcends mere names and titles, embodying the profound wisdom and order of God. Each rank has a specific job to do, and they all work together to do God's will. The variety of their jobs shows how beautiful and complex creation is. Knowing about the hierarchy makes our faith in God's providence stronger and helps us learn more about the spiritual world. Angels serve as a conduit between God and humanity, and their impact on our lives permeates every aspect of our existence. We need to look at how they guide, protect, and interact with us, often without our knowledge, to understand how important they are. Consider the story of Daniel, a determined man who faced the fierce lions not once, but several times. His unwavering faith helped him through all the hardships he faced, and after weeks of fasting and intense prayer, an angel appeared to give him strength and clarity. This wasn't just a one-time act of divine grace, but a powerful reminder that angels are sent to help us in our time of need, not to replace our faith or our efforts, but to strengthen them. A young woman named Theophanary lived a simple life, but her life took a dramatic turn when the angel Gabriel appeared to her and told her she would have the Son of God. Gabriel wasn't just talking. He wanted to prepare Mary for the amazing journey ahead. The angels send messages during times of change. Transformation is more than just communication, though. These angels are also fierce fighters, but we can't see them because they fight in other places. In the Holy Book of Revelation, Michael, the archangel, leads the heavenly armies against the dark forces that are trying to take over. This striking imagery is more than just a metaphor. It shows the deep truth of spiritual conflict, which has been going on ever since Lucifer fell. These angels watch over people and take care of our health, as well as being guardians and warriors. Have you ever been close to a terrible accident or a fall that should have hurt but didn't? It might have been the work of angels that kept you from getting hurt. In the Bible, it says that angels are sent to watch over us, guard our paths, and keep us safe. Psalm 91:11 declares, "For he will command his angels concerning you, to guard you in all your ways." There are stories ways, great tapestry of history that excite the imagination and stir the soul. There are times when the events change dramatically, as if under the direction of God. For example, the amazing deliverance of Jerusalem under King Hezekiah. The powerful Assyrian army, sure of their numbers and strength, surrounded the city, certain of their imminent victory. But in a night of wonder, that great force was brought low, not by the might of man, but by the power of some ancient traditions aufgest, that angels walk among us, disguised as common strangers, carrying out divine missions entrusted to them. They may appear as unexpected helpers, inspire kindness, and weave their influence through the fabric of our daily lives in subtle yet profound ways. Angels faithfully fool ways, air sacred responsibilities, ensuring that we are part of a larger narrative in which divine intervention is not just a possibility, but a given. The possibility reverberate through the ages as vivid reminders of the divine love that pervades humanity, and they encourage us to look beyond the surface, to see the invisible forces that direct our paths. Angels are not imagined paths, remnants of the past. They are living, breathing creatures deeply entwined with humanity's and the universe's cosmic serai, their spirit entwined with the very fabric of life, appearing in ways that often elude us. And understanding them is to discover a truth that transcends the limits of our material experience and calls us to investigate the spiritual forces that operate beyond our senses. Throughout history, asenses.ve appeared on Earth at pivotal moments and had a profound impact on the course of human history. For example, consider the story of Abraham, who received 3 mysterious visitors who were later identified as angels and delivered a message that would change the course of a nation. Or Jacob, who fought a night-long battle with a celestial being before realizing he had encountered an angelic messenger from God. These encounters were known. The sacred text contains a wealth of stories that show the various roles that angels play. They are messengers, bringing warnings, hope, and direction. They are warriors, fighting the invisible wars that determine the fates of nations. They are caregivers, offering consolation to the faithful in their hour of need. And the ancient scriptures tell the story of Elisha, who, surrounded by enemies, asked God to intervene for his servant's sight. When the veil was lifted, in the Exodus story, a Divathesenger led the Israelites through the vast wilderness with a pillar of fire at night and a cloud by day. In the New Testament, a heavenly figure appeared to Joseph in a dream, urging him to take Mary and the infant Jesus to Egypt, thus safeguarding the life of the Savior. These moments were not mere coincidences, but rather part of a divine orchestration that resonates even today. They have played a significant role in shaping there are still stories of atheic intervention in our modern world, of people who narrowly escaped danger only to discover that they had been protected by an invisible force, of people who experienced an inexplicable calm in turbulent times, of people who had spectacular encounters with glowing beings who guided them to safety, of people who, although passivity and allude to a reality, that is difficult to ignore. Could these be the acts of angelic guardians, fulfilling their angels enchant us with their magic ways of affecting the invisible world? And even though we may not always feel their presence, the effects of their actions reverberate throughout history. Consider the turning points when battles changed course suddenly, or when entire nations escaped disaster against overwhelming odds. Could these events have been caused by angelic guidance? Such thoughts inspire awe and reverence, reminding us that reality is more angels serve as a bridge more he divine and the mortal, delivering messages that change the course of history and shape destinies. Examples of angels in action include the angel who rolled away the stone from Christ's tomb to announce his resurrection to the world, and Gabriel, who appeared to Mary to announce the birth of Jesus. These events are not merely historical anecdotes. They serve as reminders of the ongoing relationship between heaven and earth. The humility of these celeste-earth.ngs is a testament to their nature and mission. They remind us that true power lies not in visibility, but in service, not in dominance, but in devotion. Their quiet presence is a source of comfort and hope, a reminder that we are never truly alone, and their work is often subtle and hidden from view. They do not seek recognition or glory. Their purpose is to serve the divine and humanity without drawing attention to themselves. Angels guide souls, draw themselves, ease, and influence earthly events with unwavering dedication. And their very existence serves as a testament to the angels are more than just historical figures. They are lively, active spirits who influence our lives today and direct our tomorrows, and their journey is intertwined with ours, proving that we are part of a bigger picture. We continue, encouraged by the knowledge that angels walk with us, carrying out their sacred missions and guiding us to the Creator who created them. Angels are more than just characters in myths, facts. They are active players in the human story, influencing events both overtly and covertly. Their essence is deeply entwined with our daily lives, often ignored, but profoundly meaningful. Imagine yourself walking down a bustling city street, surrounded by rushing people, blissfully unaware that angels may be there, performing holy tasks. This idea invites us to consider the invisible world that pervades our countless stories have been told over the ages about how people have found moments of divine intervention. A warrior who was saved from death in the midst of war. A child who was on the verge of death and was saved by an invisible hand. A wanderer who was caught in the wrath of nature and found safety just in time. These stories are not mere coincidences. They resound with the presence of celestial beings who are not limited by the bounder. Angels have a profound impact that extends beyond boundaries, lives of individuals, and permeates the very fabric of history. During World War I, British soldiers reported seeing ghostly archers but how do we know they are there? These angels frequently work in subtle, almost imperceptible ways. They may whisper softly in your heart, telling you to change your course or reach out to a loved one. They may appear as a sudden calm in the midst of chaos, a reassuring promise that everything will be okay. Sometimes their influence is felt through the generosity of strangers, whose actions appear to be divinely orchestrated to meet a specific need. Have you ever? The book of Hebrews reminds us, do not forget to ever hospitality to strangers, for by doing so, some people have shown hospitality to angels without knowing it. This passage encourages us to treat everyone we meet with openness and respect, realizing that we may be in the presence of divine beings. The idea that angels might walk among us is both fascinating and humble. According to some traditions, angels may disguise humbling vests as humans to fulfill their sacred duties. These angels are messengers of hope, gently reroad duties, our gaze toward the Creator, and reassuring us that we are never abandoned. Their silent watchfulness reassures us that even in our darkest moments, a great plan is being revealed. They serve more than just to protect and guide us. They are moving reminders of God's presence and power. As we consider the eternal presence of angels, we power, coned to cultivate a deeper understanding of the spiritual world. This journey does not require us to become fixated on every passing shadow or to pursue the supernatural for its own sake, but rather to have an open heart that is sensitive to the idea that divine forces are at work in our lives, and to believe that even in times of uncertainty, a higher power is tying everything together for a greater purpose. Even though we may not fully understand the extent purpose, our influence, knowing that angels are still at work gives us a sense of comfort in a world full of noise and chaos. They remind us that life is more than what is visible, and that every answered prayer, miraculous deliver of visible enigmatic blessing, could be the result of an angel fulfilling his sacred duty. Their presence reassures us that we are part of a grand, timeless story, one that is crafted by the mystery of these celestial beings, eventually leads Ubyo, the greatest truth, the infinite love and wisdom of the Creator. When doubt clouds your path, stop and look around you. You might discover that a guardian spirit is nearby, silently watching over you, ready to act in ways you don't yet understand. Allow this idea to fill your heart with gratitude and awe, bringing you closer to the divine, who weaves the tapestry of existence. As I consider the importance of angels in the existence, the physical worlds, I am struck with awe at the size and complexity of creation. These divine messengers, so intricately woven into the fabric of life, remind us that there is much more to our reality than meets the eye. And although we tend to focus on the obvious struggles and triumphs of life, it is truly astounding to realize that an invisible army of guardians and mentors works silently in the background. Inspiring celestial beings remind us of the divine's unwavering, inspiring presence in our lives, whether through miraculous intervention or gentle nudges of serenity. Their presence invites us to consider the nature of free will, obedience, and our purpose. If these powerful beings were created with the ability to choose and face the consequences, how much more should these celestial beings remind us of the awe that surround should even in the invisible? So let us proceed with curiosity, faith, and a heightened awareness of the amazing world we share. I invite you to continue this conversation, to examine your own beliefs about the supernatural, to question long-held assumptions, and to have thoughtful conversations with others. Perhaps you will consult your sacred texts to learn more about these mysterious beings, or you may take a moment